Welcome to Heart Power with Saskia, the heart-based podcast where we explore what it means to follow our heart so we can be truly empowered from the inside out. Hey guys, it's Saskia. I'm coming on today to talk about the blank canvas. I'm sitting in my studio. I hope the sound quality is okay today. I've got a couple of big blank canvases sitting behind me, cheek to cheek, and they are waiting to be painted on. They are completely void of anything. They are white and free, and there is nothing written on them at all, and they are waiting for me to express myself. So the blank canvas is what artists come across every day, and there's a beautiful analogy that the blank canvas encompasses how we view life, how we approach life. So how do you approach your life? Every day we are greeted with a blank canvas. Every moment we have a blank canvas. And it's up to us how we choose to approach it, how we choose to paint on it, and how we choose to see it. It is pure and untouched, and if we can approach life like that and be in the moment, the more we are embodied within the moment, the more we are less likely to bring our perceptions of the past, our impressions and beliefs into the picture, and the more we're less likely to project what our future may be. So the blank canvas is a beautiful analogy for this is where we find ourselves in the new energies that we're stepping into. It is very hard to plan ahead and to see too far into the future. We are very much creating from the present moment, and the less tethered we are to specific ideas about how things should be or how they should turn out, the more free we are to allow the universe, the magic of the universe, to co-create with us. When I am approaching a canvas, I like to meditate before I start creating, because I really want to be in a calm and peaceful state. I want to be anchored within myself. I want to feel connected to spirit, to the universe, whatever you want to call it. I want to feel really anchored in my being and grounded so that I can really call forth my co-creation with the divine. I feel like when we are creating our truest and best works, the mind is very much taking a back seat. It is there as a processing unit, and really we want to be creating from the heart with our soul. We want our soul to be expressing itself. There is a beautiful, perfect, untouched energy about a blank canvas, and that energy is something that you can see with the start of every day, with every moment is like a blank canvas. You have the choice, and you have the infinite possibilities. The only limitations that you have are those that are in the mind. So the more we can detach from the mind, which is where these limitations and judgments and the polarity exist, the more we can open ourselves up to the infinite and have that freedom to express ourselves. When we create, we want to get ourselves out of the way. And how are you going to approach your canvas of your life? Do you want big, broad brush strokes? How do you want to express yourself? Because you get to choose, and every day, every moment, we are choosing our lives. It may be a culmination of the past, but the more we untether ourselves and heal from the past, the more we are left with this blank canvas, because the past impressions are no longer there. So one thing that's really important is to not have any expectations. It is okay to have a loose plan. How much do we want to control the outcome of what is going to happen? Because really, we only have a certain level of control, which is controlling our inner realm and our thoughts. The more we can get out of the way and be open to the infinite, the more that can flow through us. So when we are too constrictive with our ideas, that limits our potential, that limits the infinite. So what is beyond our periphery, that is what we want to also be able to access. We want to access everything that is available to us. Having expectations it's very limiting. So, when a child creates a painting or whatever it's creating, it does it just freely in that moment. It doesn't have a idea in mind, like I need to create this to sell this, or I am creating this Lego structure so that I can display it to the world, and having all these expectations. It's a weight, it's heavy, it's limiting, it's pressure, it's being outcome based. Do we want to be outcome based? That really limits our creation, and is it going to make us judge ourselves through our process of our day, of our life? So the more you can release judgment and just really not judge what we're creating, as we go along, things start to take form, and we can discern where it's going, and we can make decisions about whether it feels good. So it's all about being in our feeling nature from our heart. Does it feel right? And what feels good to get out? Sometimes, it's a really great thing to express different emotions. It's a beautiful thing to get those feelings out onto a canvas. And that is a transmission of energy. And once that's released, it's healed, it's out of us, and that emotion is then captured on a canvas. Whatever you're creating in the world, whether you're an accountant, whether you're creating town planning, or whatever it is that you're doing, it doesn't necessarily need to be creative in the terms of what we deem as creative, because everything is creative. Our thoughts are creative, our actions, every single thing that you do is an act of creation, even if it's just putting your attention onto social media. Whatever you're looking at, you are feeding energy, and your creative life force is moving towards that. It's proven in physics that when we put our attention onto something, it changes. So our consciousness, our creative energy, where we put that is omnipotent. So if you're watching the news, if you watch a news an hour every day, if you spent that hour meditating or doing something, think about it. If the whole world did that, whoever puts their energy into these fear-based transmissions, if that energy was focused in a way that was freeing and harmonious and peaceful, we'd have a way different world. So where we put our creative energy, our focus, is so important, and how we approach things. So not having expectations. You can believe in what you want to create, and you can have a vision, have ideas, but it's going to change along the way if we are listening to the divine guidance that's constantly streaming in, because every moment we may have a way to make things better. They all have a better view up there than us. So if we can listen and allow that guidance to come through, and to create with spirit, to allow spirit to work with us, then we have a much, much clearer path. We can allow things, we can be flexible without going, oh, it didn't go the way I wanted. I had it like this in mind. I had this expectation. So are we going to judge it along the way? We need to discern if it feels right, if it feels like us, or if it needs more pink or blue or depth or texture. Whatever we're putting onto our canvas, we can adapt in the way that feels best for us. But it is a process of really not judging our creation before it's complete, because that judgment ultimately comes from comparison. It's based on our perceptions, so it's limited all the way, and it is going to take the fun out of it. So the less you can judge what you're creating and just operate from the heart, the more it will flow and the more you can co-create with spirit. So we want to avoid that judgment and not be too outcome based. Just allow yourself to be in the moment, and the more you can feel joy in the moment and just peace and enjoy your process of what you're creating in your life, the more it will flow and it will blossom and bloom and amazingly just come into being. And before you know it, you'll have created all of this world or these things that bring you more joy. So whatever energy you are embodying and being, you will get more of. So if you are busy judging people or your artwork or yourself, then you're going to get more of that. So the universe gives you what you are, and that's why gratitude is such an amazing practice, because the more grateful you are for what you have and what you are, the more the universe is like, oh, she's really grateful, I'm going to give her more of that. So more things to be grateful for. Yeah, we really meet ourselves when we are creating art, and most things in the world, but particularly with art, it is very confronting. We meet ourselves on the canvas, and what we create is a reflection of our energy. It is really hard not to judge ourselves at times and to be hard with ourselves and to go, oh, that's shit, I'm shit, this is sucking. And there is a bit of a process, and persevering through that and not listening to the mental negativity that might creep in is a really beautiful process, because we work through these aspects of self that meet us and that show up in our work. So pushing through that and allowing those parts of self that we need to face, that are coming up through our work, allowing ourselves to face them and to release our judgments about them and to integrate them and harmonize them to a state of love and into a state of just peace, into an integrated state, because that's what a painting is. Once we are painting and we are creating something and we have an idea of where it's going, we are working towards integrating that painting. So once it's integrated, it's finished. So that harmonizing, that integrating process where we have just the right amount of friction and that harmonious overall integrity, once we reach that, we have that state of completion. So that's where things are to go. But as we do start working on what we are creating, our subconscious and our soul collide. Like in the book She by Robert Johnson, Aphrodite is the subconscious and Psyche is the soul, and they collide. So that collision is what happens when we create. So our subconscious aspects are going to come up, and the soul is meeting those subconscious aspects. So soul is infinite, soul is all being, it is love, and those aspects that are not in alignment with that are colliding with soul, and there's that friction that occurs, and that's something that we work through. So working through our emotions that come up and our process is part of what we work through to get to a finished painting. So it's a really stunning process, and through it we get to know ourselves. We can release emotion, we can transmute our feelings through their transmission out of ourselves and into the world. So expression is such an important thing.
expressing our will into the world through whatever means it is that you're creating, whatever you're creating in the world, which you're like I said earlier, you are constantly creating, whether you like it or not. You're manifesting. You are a transmitter and a receiver. You are constantly sending out and receiving energy. So whatever that is, it's going to be coming and going, and you need to decide and the better you get at it, the more you can decide what you're actually going to receive and what you're actually going to put out. But what you're putting out, the more you are centered and anchored, and you are in a co-creative state, so harmonized and one with the divine, the more divine energy can flow through you, and you are then creating with the energy of all that is. And when you create with the energy of all that is, everybody can relate, because everybody comes from that energetic soup. We all come from the energy of all that is. We are here to have an experience of being separated. And part of that is our ego, which allows us to have an identity and to be able to see ourselves as separate and to experience ourselves as separate from one another. And we have this duality, which is part of our planet, part of our existence while we're here. The more we are anchored in center and led from the heart, working from the heart, the more we can know and feel our oneness and our connection, the more we can not be so impacted by the duality. We can observe. So to be in observer mode is one of the most important things we can do to live a peaceful life. So being peaceful, feeling good within ourselves is so important. That's what we need to get through this life. And, this year is a huge year, 2024. We are moving from one frequency to another. It's a 12-year cycle. So the last major jump in energy was in 2012. You may just have a lot of past things coming up. You may be clearing a lot of the past. We have a lot of planetary changes happening in the astrology, and that is huge change on a collective and individual level. So much is moving out, changing out, and we are sort of at the final level before we jump to the next level. So it gets more challenging and things come up and we need to work through those, and then we graduate. We're in a graduation year. So this year we're moving from that old energy, letting go of heaps of density that no longer serves us, and moving into these higher frequencies where things will get lighter, things will get easier, but we're still sort of on the tail end of this death phase and this closing out phase, which is very, very challenging. It's not easy. So we should all be proud of ourselves that we've made it this far and that we are doing it. We are moving through all our stuff, and we are transmuting it, and we are evolving. We're all evolving, and at the core of our beings, we are all made of love. We are all want peace. We all want the same things. There's just a real slow process of everything catching up on the planet. So what I encourage everyone to do is to really work from the heart, disengage with anything that drains your energy, that takes from you, anything that is not raising your frequency and nourishing you at your core. Disengage and seal off your energy from those things and create a bubble of light of where you are, and expand that and share that love that you are with others. So don't let the density and the darkness that's coming up to be seen and cleared on the planet, don't let that put you into a state of fear. Don't let that be your dictator for your reality. You create your reality, and so the more of us that are creating our reality from a high vantage point, from a place of love, from peace, from being happy, just being, no matter what is going on in the outside world, we anchor ourselves in joy, we anchor ourselves in our creative expression, in having fun and making the most of this beautiful earth. We are all like cells on the planet. We are the cells of the great Mother Earth, and we are now returning to the feminine energy, which is softer. It is much more receptive, and it's slower, it's more peaceful. Energy will be speeding up, but to counteract that, we do need to slow down. So slowing down, coming to center, knowing and trusting that the road will unfold even though we can't see it, because we are moving more into these 5D energies where we need to be more trusting. So with a blank canvas, you need to be trusting. You can't just have it all worked out, because it will change as it goes along. But it's like driving at night, the headlights, you can only see so far ahead, which isn't that far. But you trust that as you drive along, the road will unfold. But if you stay still, you're not going to know what's further ahead. So you need to keep moving and trusting and know that the road will unfold and that everything is happening for your highest good. We are in a benevolent universe. We get to choose to a large degree our lives. So choose well, choose love, choose peace. Don't allow yourself to be drawn down by the density that is purging on the planet. It is being purged for a reason, so that we can all exist at a higher frequency, at a better degree of peace. We are moving into a new age right now. So if you're here, you've signed up to be here for this shift in consciousness that is going on, awesome. But understand it is challenging to go through. It's not an easy process. So just be kind to self and understand that your blank canvas is you are presented with a blank canvas every day, every moment, and that blank canvas is yours to paint with however you like. So if you don't like what you've created, you can start again, you can get a new canvas, or you can paint over your old one. There is infinite options available to you. You are free. Know that everything is coming together. It is happening behind the scenes, and know that you are loved and that all will be well, and enjoy creating your life. Thank you.